Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we're exploring Mini Habits by Stephen Guise. Published in 2013, this insightful book introduces a transformative approach to achieving personal goals, not through overwhelming ambition or continuous reliance on motivation, but through the power of small, daily habits. Stephen Guise, a renowned writer, blogger, and researcher in personal growth, demonstrates how these tiny behavioral changes can lead to remarkable results over time. Mini Habits is an ideal read for anyone struggling to maintain health or weight loss goals, those looking to effortlessly build new skills, or people desiring change but unsure where to start. Through his research and accessible writing, Guise provides practical strategies for making life-altering adjustments manageable and sustainable. So tune in to learn how you can start small and win big in the pursuit of your goals. Mini Habits, Smaller Habits, Bigger Results. Introduction. Discover the power of tiny daily actions to transform your life. Ever found yourself robotically scrolling through social media as soon as you wake up, or habitually grabbing a sweet pastry with your morning coffee? These actions start as minor choices, but often evolve into ingrained habits that can shape our lives, for better or for worse. Habits, whether small like choosing a morning snack or significant like our method of communication, compose the framework of our daily existence. However, not all habits serve us well, and altering them can feel like an insurmountable task. That's where the concept of mini habits comes into play, offering a refreshing and highly effective approach to behavior change. Mini Habits is more than just a guide. It's a deep dive into the mechanics of how habits form, how they sustain themselves, and how they can be remolded to align with our personal goals and aspirations. The insights provided are grounded in the understanding that while our habits can often lead us astray, like those daily donuts, they can also be powerful allies in our quest for personal improvement. In this enlightening narrative, you'll explore strategies to cultivate beneficial habits, such as rising early and maximizing the productive hours of your morning, insights into why stress can increase your cravings for sweets, and how to combat these impulses effectively. Recommendations for smartphone apps that are specifically designed to support and reinforce your new healthy routines. Embrace the methodology of mini habits and learn how the smallest actions can lead to the most significant changes in your life, guiding you towards a healthier, more productive, and fulfilling lifestyle. Part 1. Understanding the automatic nature of our daily lives. Have you ever noticed how some parts of your day seem to run on autopilot? Whether it's showering, brushing your teeth, or making your morning coffee, these activities require little thought because they've become habits, actions so ingrained in our routines that we perform them without conscious thought. Indeed, a significant portion of our daily actions are habitual. Research from Duke University suggests that nearly 45% of our behavior is driven by these ingrained routines. This habitual nature is even more pronounced under stress, as studies, such as one conducted at UCLA, have shown. When we're under pressure, feeling overwhelmed, or simply tired, we're more likely to default to these automatic behaviors, regardless of whether they are beneficial or detrimental. But why does stress push us toward habitual behavior? Often stress arises from decision fatigue. The more choices we're forced to make, the more overwhelmed we feel. In response, our brain opts for the path of least resistance, the well-trodden tracks of our habits. This might explain why, under stress, you might find yourself mindlessly browsing social media or reaching for comfort food. These actions are not just random, they are your brain's fallback to familiar patterns. The silver lining here is that habits are malleable. Each habit forms a neural pathway in our brain, which strengthens with repeated use but can also weaken when neglected. This plasticity means that any habit, no matter how ingrained, can be reshaped or even replaced. For example, if you aspire to wake up earlier each day, initially, it may feel challenging as your brain is still strengthening the neural connections associated with this new habit. However, with consistency, getting up early will soon become as automatic as hitting the snooze button used to be. Over time, these new pathways will do the heavy lifting for you, making it easier to rise early and energetically tackle the day. This transformation in our neural landscape shows that, with persistence and the right strategies, changing our habits is entirely within our reach. Part 2. Unlocking the secrets of the brain's habit machine. Picture this. Every time you go grocery shopping, you have to consciously deliberate on every item on the shelves. It would be overwhelmingly time-consuming, wouldn't it? Thankfully, our brains have developed a system to handle such repetitive tasks efficiently through the formation of habits. Deep within the brain lies the basal ganglia, a powerful structure that automates our recurring behaviors, minimizing the need for active decision-making. This area of the brain effectively turns frequent actions into automatic routines. Take, for instance, choosing an ice cream flavor. Despite a plethora of options at a gelato shop, you might find yourself reaching for vanilla, a familiar and comforting choice. This is the basal ganglia at work, driving you towards the well-trodden path of habit. The role of the basal ganglia doesn't stop at simplifying decisions. Over time, as we repeat a behavior, like logging into Facebook immediately after turning on the computer, these patterns become deeply ingrained, allowing us to operate on autopilot. The efficiency of the basal ganglia is such that it often overshadows the prefrontal cortex, the brain's center for rational and long-term decision-making. The prefrontal cortex considers the consequences of our actions and broader ethical principles, but it has a drawback. It tires easily. Engaging in continuous decision-making is mentally draining, which is why, after a long day, resisting temptations becomes significantly harder. When the prefrontal cortex fatigues, the basal ganglia takes over, steering us back to our habitual behaviors, like reaching for that tempting bowl of cookies and cream ice cream after a stressful day. Understandably, while this system of habit formation in our brain is highly efficient, it can also lead us into less desirable patterns. However, by recognizing how these processes work, we can begin to take control, harnessing the power of the basal ganglia to foster positive habits and override the unwanted ones. Part 3. Why willpower outshines motivation in habit formation. While motivation feels great and can give us a burst of energy to tackle enjoyable tasks like planning a vacation, it's notably absent during less thrilling activities, such as spring cleaning. This demonstrates a key limitation of motivation. It's heavily influenced by our current emotional state and overall enthusiasm, which can vary dramatically from day to day. For instance, knocking out a quick set of push-ups may feel effortless on a day when you're feeling on top of the world. However, muster the same enthusiasm for exercise after a night out might feel nearly impossible. Moreover, motivation tends to dwindle with routine. The more you do something, the less exciting it becomes. If brushing your teeth depended solely on feeling motivated, dental health would be disastrously neglected. These observations underline why motivation alone is insufficient for forming enduring habits. Fortunately, there's a more reliable force at our disposal: willpower. Contrary to motivation, willpower does not decrease with repeated use. In fact, it strengthens the more it is exercised, akin to a muscle. The efficacy of willpower has been demonstrated through various psychological studies. For example, a professor challenged his students to implement better posture over 2 weeks. This exercise in willpower didn't just result in straighter backs. It also improved their self-control in other areas of life. By consistently applying willpower to daily actions like meditating, cooking fresh meals, or keeping in touch with family, you not only establish positive habits, but also enhance your willpower for future challenges. Unlike fleeting motivation, willpower is a stable and buildable resource that you can count on to achieve your long-term goals and maintain your desired habits. Part 4. Leverage tiny steps to maximize your willpower reserves. Imagine setting a goal to complete 100 push-ups every morning. It sounds ambitious, and while it might ignite a spark of motivation initially, the sheer scale of the task can quickly overwhelm your willpower, especially once fatigue sets in around the 20th push-up. The reality is, while willpower is a formidable ally, it's not inexhaustible. It can falter under the weight of overly ambitious goals. Enter the strategy of mini habits, a method that harnesses the strength of your willpower without draining it. Mini habits involve setting goals so small that they seem trivial, which in turn minimizes the effort, perceived difficulty, and potential for fatigue that can sabotage your willpower. For instance, instead of aiming for 100 push-ups, what if your goal was just one push-up a day? This target is so manageable that it almost bypasses any resistance or dread, serving as a direct counter to the typical threats that weaken willpower. What's powerful about mini habits is that they act as a gateway to greater achievements. Once you begin your single push-up, you're likely to continue doing more, almost effortlessly. This is akin to Newton's first law of motion. An object in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by an external force. The hardest part often isn't the action itself, but the transition from not doing to doing. Starting with a mini habit significantly lowers this initial barrier, facilitating a smooth transition into the activity. You might find yourself completing 5 or 10 push-ups, all because you committed to just one. While the output might seem minimal, the psychological boost from exceeding your own expectations is significant, and importantly, you're building strength in your willpower reserve without depleting it. Mini habits ensure that even on days when your energy or willpower seems scarce, you can still celebrate small victories, consistently building momentum towards larger ones. Part 5. Small steps lead to big gains in confidence and control. Imagine this. There's someone across the room you've always wanted to approach but never dared. By simply taking a few calculated, small steps towards them, you'll suddenly find yourself in conversation, wondering why it took you so long to cross that space. This scenario perfectly illustrates how the principle of mini habits can empower us to do things previously thought too daunting. Over time, exaggerated expectations, from parental pressures during youth to our own self-imposed standards, can erode our self-esteem. But mini habits flip this dynamic by setting us up for a series of attainable, successful outcomes throughout the day. Imagine the difference between lamenting the unachieved monumental goals day after day versus reveling in numerous small victories. The latter not only boosts morale, but continually restores our belief in our capabilities. Instead of aspiring to overnight stardom as a pop singer, committing to just 5 minutes of piano practice daily can create a foundation of achievable, confidence-building success. Moreover, mini habits help reinforce our sense of autonomy, a crucial element of psychological well-being. People inherently dislike feeling out of control or manipulated by external forces. A study in Denmark revealed that up to 90% of employees reported higher satisfaction when they had control over their work choices. Mini habits, by their manageable nature, provide a daily sense of decision-making and control. Contrast the overwhelming commitment of devoting every spare moment to helping those in need, with the simplicity of giving a coin to a person seeking help each day. While the larger goal can lead to burnout and resentment, the mini habit fosters positive personal interactions and a manageable pathway to generosity. By integrating mini habits into our daily routines, we not only set ourselves up for manageable success, but also reclaim control over our lives, enhancing overall happiness and satisfaction. Part 6. Crafting your roadmap for mini habit success. Exploring the potential of mini habits surely opens up a new perspective on personal growth. Now, it's time to channel this insight into forming your own arsenal of tiny, transformative practices. Here's how you can embark on this rewarding journey. Begin by clearly identifying the habits you aspire to develop. These could range from learning a new language, engaging more with books, enhancing your mathematical prowess, or boosting your physical fitness. Once you have a list, delve deeper by reflecting on why these particular habits matter to you. For instance, if learning new languages excites you due to your love for travel and exploring diverse cultures, then you're on the right track. However, if your motivation is to merely impress others, take a moment to reconsider. It's crucial that your chosen habits align purely with your personal ambitions and not just external expectations. The most sustainable habits are those driven by sincere and self-aligned motivations. With your list of purpose-driven habits at the ready, break them down into even smaller actions, your mini habits. If enhancing your Spanish skills is the goal, start with something as simple as learning a single word each day. If it feels almost too easy, then you've hit the mark. Mini habits should be so straightforward that they almost seem trivial. Integrating these mini habits into your daily life should be effortless. Aim to start with 2 or 3 mini habits a day, ensuring they are manageable and not overwhelming. The simplicity of each task will encourage regular practice without the mental strain. Next, establish clear habit cues to prompt your mini habits. These cues act as gentle reminders to perform a specific activity. For example, if you decide to integrate a yoga pose into your morning routine, let the cue be something you encounter naturally in your morning, like the act of entering your kitchen. By meticulously planning and integrating these mini habits into your daily life, you lay a foundation for gradual, sustainable improvement that accumulates significant change over time. Through this structured approach, tiny habits can lead to profound transformations. Part 7. Track your achievements and celebrate your success. When it comes to mini habits, your aim should be nothing short of perfection. Strive for a 100% completion rate. To help ensure this level of consistency, it's crucial to keep a meticulous record of your activities. This act of documentation not only enhances the sense of accomplishment, but also reinforces your commitment. Research conducted in 2013 highlights the cognitive impact of writing things down. It significantly magnifies their presence in your mind. For tracking, modern tools like the apps Lift or Habit Streak Plan can be highly effective. Alternatively, you can adopt a more traditional approach by using a large visible calendar where you can mark off your progress daily. Whichever method you select, make sure it's something that you will engage with regularly. This constant interaction serves as a powerful reminder to stick to your habits, observe your progress, and continually cultivate new positive routines. As you advance, you might surprise yourself by exceeding your goals significantly. For instance, transforming a modest goal of writing 50 words into an exhilarating 500-word session. While these achievements are exciting and worthy of celebration, remember they are bonuses. Resist the temptation to adjust your goals upward after a particularly successful day, as this could set you up for undue stress and potential disappointment. Sometimes, achieving your mini habit might start to feel routine or even mundane. Ironically, this is a positive sign. It indicates that the activity has truly become a habit, seamlessly integrated into your daily life without any resistance. This is a victory in and of itself, deserving of recognition and reward. It's important to celebrate these moments of habitual consistency. They exemplify your ability to transform intent into action, a core aspect of building a life filled with intentional, positive routines. Remember, the journey and the daily discipline of habit formation are just as valuable as the goals these habits help you achieve. Celebrate these small daily victories. They are the stepping stones to larger successes. Final summary. The core philosophy of this book centers on a transformative yet straightforward principle. Rather than overwhelming yourself with the pursuit of ambitious goals, break them down into manageable, miniature steps. Adopting a routine of mini habits allows you to celebrate small but frequent successes, fostering a positive momentum that propels you toward your larger objectives. This approach not only makes progress more attainable, but also integrates these successes into your daily life, ensuring consistent advancement towards your ultimate aspirations. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.